Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Frontline. This is In The Trenches. This is FPL In The Trenches. It's getting boring how I'm doing these intros. I got to find a new goofy way to do them again, Beer Me. But I am Scott, your co-host, along with BeerMeJesus, your other co-host. How are you today, Beer Me?
I'm doing a lot better. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing good. For those who are unaware, if you listen to Top of the Card podcast, which is available every other week on where you get your podcasts, Top of the Card pod, BeerMeJesus was on there Tuesday night and had a really rough voice. So we didn't record this on our usual Wednesday. We bumped it. I don't even know if that's part of the plan, but I think it's benefiting because Beer Me sounds like he's not going to croak anytime soon as he talks here. So
yep.
He's good. And I know people, we've done the odd COVID update here and there. I'm booked for my vaccine appointments in June and September. Oh, Canada. Here we go. But it's happening. It's happening. The return to normalcy. We're getting there. But that's some silly stuff. Silly, but you know what I mean. That's other stuff. We're here for FPL WrestleMania Backlash coming up at the end of the week. But before we go over some stuff about that one, and even Double or Nothing, we got a little bit of news there. We're going to do a Q&A, Beer Me. And if people watched JRPL Frontline back in the day, we did one real Q&A. We did a couple of bits here and there, but we did one of them, and it was awesome. It was so much fun having the different questions come in, the character stuff. It was one of our favorite episodes, and we really haven't had a chance since we started this to do one, mostly because we've pretty much been either recapping a show or previewing a show every time we get out here, and we do this weekly, so we haven't had much time to dedicate to something like this. And I think now, after, it's like 8 or 9 shows at this point, 4 months-ish, starting January 31st, we're here and we're ready to do this Q&A session. And thank you to everybody who put in your questions. I didn't really look at them much, purposefully, just because. But for those just catching what the heck this is the Frontline Prediction League. This is a wrestling prediction league where we have storylines and stuff based on the ideas of characters that is all in our Discord. Go check out the link below. This is based on predictions of the stuff with the WrestleMania pay-per-view, the WrestleMania WWE pay-per-view, and all the other pay-per-views for Ring of Honor, TNA, Impact, AEW. I'm forgetting one. No, I'm not. NXT is what I'm thinking of. But we do all that. So this is an interesting thing where we kind of peel back that curtain, because this is not really in character so much. We do talk about like our matches, but this is some fun stuff. So go check that out. Be a part of Backlash this weekend. More details at the end of the show for that one. But in the meantime, we've got guys from our Discord who are in our roster who have asked us questions, Beer Me. And I think we could just dive right into these. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Yeah, because like I said, I didn't look at them purposefully. I was actually tangenting on as to why I meant that. I'm part of the creative team of it. Beer Me's helping out with this show. He does this with me as a co-host, but he's part of the roster. The other 3 members of the creative team are not here, but I'm kind of answering on behalf of, and I believe one of them even sent you some questions. We'll talk about that.
It's true.
But yeah, so I do know stuff. So it's not like I didn't prepare for these questions, because I pretty much know what's what with what's going on. And I'll be honest, if I don't know, we'll figure it out. We'll come back. But yeah, let's dive in with the first one. What do we have here? We've got, well, there's our tweet. The newest episode In The Trenches is out. You and I are here ready to go, and you can see the Warden down there. So the Warden, he is the arbiter in the FPL. He says, we at DMI, Death Money Inc., have several. Well, let's go through these one by one. Or maybe not, because I think this is an ad. Are you tired of being abused at work? Wish you could walk through the back or have a competitive wrestling bout with peace of mind? Have you ever needed that upper edge going into a big match? Well, believe it or not, Death Money Incorporated can help. Well, thanks, Warden. That's not a question at all.
It's a plug.
That's a join the Dark Order type thing, but that's pretty funny. And that is kind of the character work that you get with the guys with those gimmicks. So, all right, thanks, Warden. Next, JJ Rocky. Hey, it's our guy, the guy in the trenches.
Yeah.
Do you plan on doing a title that is mandatory to be defending every show? What is your biggest surprise competitor so far? And when can I fight Scott one-on-one? Well, let's go through those in order. Do you plan on doing a title that is mandatory to be defended every show? That, I know directly from us back in the JRPL, the prior league that we were parts of, there was the Road Warrior title, which was defended at every show no matter what. And again, just to peel back, well, what's what? Title defenses are only ever done in the FPL, and back there, at main shows, which is WWE and NXT, because everybody kind of has that barometer. Stuff like AEW, Impact, and Ring of Honor is a little more niche, either by availability or just what people follow, so those ones don't have title implications as far as for defenses and stuff like that. But the Road Warrior title was that. That was one that Bomber had, where it's defended every single show, no matter what. So at Backlash, it's defended. At Double or Nothing, it's defended. At Money in the Bank, it's defended. It doesn't matter. So that championship goes and had a pretty long lineage of names. Do we plan to do one? No. We talked about it for a while, simply because we looked at what was there. I know personally I didn't want to just copy all the titles that was in the JRPL, even though I had no problem with any of them. I didn't want to just be like, all right, same thing over here. Yep.
Right.
But also, if we started with that, it wouldn't really feel any different from anything else. Because it would have been... Well, it wouldn't have started from day one, for one. But it also would have had that aspect of having stuff at house shows, which we're trying to lean away from. And yet, at the same time, as I've said before, there is aspects of the house show wins and losses that do kind of play into booking, but not really your standings, if that makes sense. So we didn't really have any idea toward that, like toward executing that. But probably not, or at least not anytime soon. It's really not on the cards. We don't discuss it. We don't think about it. We don't even have our tag titles yet. They're coming, though. They're coming. But as far as for doing a Road Warrior, which we would call something different, obviously. Probably Iron Man was my thought, but that's an Iron Man match. But it's like you're there every time, day in, day out. Would we do that? I could see it down the line, but one thing we learned from booking it is it actually kind of gets in the way, because you're always looking for contenders. You're having to make sure that people who don't do those side shows aren't in line for it, because the last thing you want to do is something that I ended up causing myself. The Finn and Ash had a feud, and Bomber was looking for a contender for the Road Warrior title. I said, well, why not the Finn? He was second in that, but it was really good. It's a good standing. He can get this shot. So we booked him for it. And then the house show came up after he won it. He doesn't do these house shows. Well, now what do we do? Oops. And on the flip side of that, it takes away from storylines, because you have a storyline going along. Suddenly, someone's involved with the Road Warrior title and has to defend it. So it's an unneeded thing for us right now. I'll never say never, obviously, but no plans as of right now, I can say pretty adamantly. BeerMeJesus, you never did win the Road Warrior, did you?
No, I had one shot at it,
yeah.
And I lost.
I had one shot, and I won, and then immediately lost it. And it's like, it was like an 8-day reign, or like 5 days, because it was like from a Ring of Honor. So it was a 5-day reign, which would never really be duplicated. It was pretty funny. I'm proud of that one. But so that's one question, JJ. Who is your biggest surprise competitor so far? Nintendo comes to mind pretty quickly based on what he was able to do.
I was going to say that too, yeah. McKennedy?
McKennedy. I mean, the two guys who are champions, obviously, are the ones we keep talking. McKennedy and Nintendo stepping up like that and leaving no doubt.
Sebastian Escobar?
Escobar's been a solid one. I'm trying to think of ones where, like, it's not necessarily new. Like, how have they been doing? Where has it been turned around?
Kier 1 and Hawk.
Yeah, those guys too.
They come to mind too.
I almost want to say Payne in some way, because it wasn't a surprise that he got there, but it's a surprise that he keeps it in the ones that matter. I'm going to say Luke, actually, too. Luke winning the Battle Royal. Big surprise there. He's always there, always.
Tigress,
yeah. Lexi Briggs, another one. So, but after that, who is my biggest surprise competitor so far? Personally, this is just mine. Rab coming in and beating me. Rab is mine. That's mine. Is Escobar probably yours, or are you still going with Real Nintendo?
I'll probably go with Real Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's got to be mine too. That's got to be everybody's right now to think of it. I can tell you right now,
Yeah.
if we do any kind of like year-end awards, which maybe, there won't be a Rookie of the Year because technically everybody's a rookie. But Real Nintendo is on my short list if we did do one. So there is that aspect of it. That just means he's in line for like Superstar of the Year kind of thing, right? So, and when can I, JJ Rocky, fight Scott 1-on-1? I want that match, JJ. You know I want that match.
I want it too.
I want that match.
You want to dance with death?
Oh, it's. I'll compare that to something if you know MMA. Lyoto Machida back 10 years ago. He was kind of unbeatable with his unorthodox striking, and people were kind of scared to fight him because he'd pick him apart. And Randy Couture said, I want to fight him. I want to see if I can solve the Machida puzzle. And he didn't. But it was kind of like...
crane kicked in the face.
I was there for that UFC. It was amazing. But that...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it was great. But that aspect is kind of how I looked at it when he was running roughshod last year. I'm like, I want to face him. Because if I win, that character's off. I figured it out. If I lose, he beat another one. Right? Because I was on a roll last year. So that's where I looked at that. I still want that, JJ. I've got most of it in my head and written. So the character's a bit different now, but I see where I want it to go. Of course, feed me the ideas. As far as actual booking, we don't have that anytime soon. And it's not even like down the cards, but everybody knows I want that match. So it's a matter of time. JJ?
What are you doing for Double or Nothing? You know?
Yeah,
you do. Yeah.
No, I got something for that. I got something for that. We've got stuff in mind, but never say never. We're very fluid with stuff. If an opportunity presents itself, we'll get there. But it's a bit of a bigger match to me anyway, where it's kind of like, okay, what can we do here? And my character really isn't big right now, which is kind of good.
Right.
But I want to get back up there, and I'm trying to turn that corner right now. So soon, JJ, soon. Like it will happen eventually. It's a matter of time. So I'm looking forward to that one. Absolutely. Next up, RGX. Will you consider doing interviews in kayfabe at any point? Not just like Lars or Bobby's sisters, LOL. I presume RGX, one of our favorite promos, he's talking like on In The Trenches.
Oh, yeah.
Like, will we interview characters? It's something we've thought about. We actually thought about it back in the Frontline days, and we toyed with it because we did the bit where you and Warden picked your Survivor Series teams.
Yeah.
And I was in character more so for that because I got the jacket I usually have for my promos, and I was much more of a dick because I'm a heel right now. Mm-hmm. And we did that in character, and we did that, and it was a lot of fun because that's the thing. The show is not in character, so. I hate when I hate to see it when guys do a promo calling us out like I'm the character Scott. It's not that. So I don't do those promos like that. It doesn't really work. Like this is like the bump kind of thing more, you know what I mean? It's like a side thing.
Yeah.
But I get the fine line because we talk about our matches and stuff like that. So it's a bit different, but yeah, it's still me, it's still BeerMe, but it's not really the same. And the other part I guess I'll put into that is the four of us that run the FPL. In character, Scott, CT, GMSG, and Redhead do not run the FPL because Redhead's the GM. The others don't get along at all. We all hate each other except for Red and I, obviously. So, like, those characters aren't in charge of things. It's not like, oh, I know the real truth. Like, Vince really runs it. No, it's not that. So, do we want to do in-character interviews? Yeah, there's got to be a way to do it. There's got to be a way. It might even be a different kind of show where it's a little different aspect of it, but I'm definitely open to it. I've been wanting to do a side-by-side with an opponent for like a year or two. Tried to do one with Lee, and then tried to do one with Matt. Got one maybe down the line coming up. But it's... Yeah, I definitely want to do it. Absolutely. Like so yes, I have considered doing it, and we want to do it, just finding the right way. What do you think about that kind of thing, BeerMe, but having like us being in character doing this?
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I don't know how we would do it, but I think it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, because our characters have no respect right now for each other.
Right, exactly.
Mine doesn't because I'm a heel. But when we were both faces, we were good. So I guess it all comes down to if I'm a face again, we're good. And that's the thing. Another thing too with some of the promos I've seen, like you got heels bitching me out. It's like I'm also a heel, so like you're not endearing yourself to anybody by dogpiling me. I get it. I'm like the MJF or the Jericho. Like just everybody hates him. Cool. That's good for a heel, but it doesn't get you anywhere. So if I'm face again, which I've thought about, the heel. I never got the world title as a heel, so maybe we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But I think honestly, it would have to be a face scenario for us to do it, or just a complete disconnect of a different character is the interviewer host. That's what I think. But yes, we've considered it, RGX, absolutely. And I want you on, even though you're in Scotland and it makes the time difference ridiculous. We'd figure it out. So, next up, we have Vitamin. Vitamin asks, if you could bring one guy to FBL who isn't already there, who would it be? I've got my answer immediately. Who do you have, BeerMe? Who do you think for that?
Lily Pilly.
Lily? I miss Lily. I miss Lily. Yeah. I took Lily out.
You did.
I would like to see Jet just because I never actually got to beat him one-on-one. But Super Hippo is easily my pick for that. He was a legend back in the day. I would love to have Super Hippo back. That'd be the one guy I want, because his character was always kind of fun. In a way, like Broken Nerd was kind of like a loner, but is a good guy. Like kind of, he just kind of works on his own. It was Sting basically, because that's his avatar. But I miss Super Hippo. We never heard anything from him ever, but that would be my pick.
Right.
That's my pick. I think
it's not a bad pick.
And the last Twitter question we have is Frozzy Jamie Price. If you could
Smooth Rock.
If you could pick anyone on the roster to face that you've never faced so far, who would it be and why? JJ Rocky, because 10 minutes ago. That's my number one, absolutely. But that I kind of already answered that, so I'm trying to think of another one. Who would you say right now, though?
Pain.
Oh, God, I got to face Pain, too. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a match that never happened
because,
too, Payne and I.
Yeah, because I like back in the other league, I could see the writing on the wall where eventually we were gonna go 1-on-1, and it didn't happen, obviously. But yeah, Payne would be my choice.
Payne, that's a good one for me too. Like I said, because there was history there. Did we actually?
You guys even teamed together?
We got the tag match. Yeah, it was amazing,
and you won, which
was so great. That was so much fun. That match. Another one, I want to face Escobar.
Yeah.
Just because he's great. Escobar's awesome.
He is great.
If not for the tag match, I'd easily say Real Nintendo, because we did face him in that tag.
Right.
And I just...
Yeah, and I'm going to be facing him, so...
Yeah. And I'm all up for McKennedy as well. Like, if you're a champion, you're on my radar. I just want to face you anyway.
Right.
But those guys are all killing it. And not to say like others aren't. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't. Smooth Rock. I've never faced you. I'd love to face you too. I'll face anybody. I want to face everybody on the roster. I want to beat everybody. You know. But my answer easily is JJ, just purely because that's such a fun match. I think we've encountered each other. Yeah, I think he threw me somewhere in the Battle Royal or in the room. No, in the Battle Royal. I think I bumped into him just because I wanted to do that little bit of a tease. But yeah. So that is our Twitter set of questions. I do have one from Character Chat. Real Nintendo did actually send us one there. It's not on screen, obviously. Sorry, guys, but I'm just using what availability I have here. But he put it in Character Chat, so it's in character. So, like I said, it's a little different. This one's coming through his character way, but let's work our way through here. He says, "Hi, Scott and BeerMeJesus. I'm not necessarily a big fan of either of yours, and that's fine. We all don't have to like each other, but that doesn't matter. To the point, and to be fair, he's right. And that kind of goes for the whole Discord, because there's going to be people you don't get along in there. And I wish it weren't that.
Right.
I wish everybody got along. But when you get 60-some-odd people, not everybody's going to get along. I'll sometimes be in my office of 20 people, back when that was more than 4 like we have now, and not everybody got along. But we're able to get along, if you understand that. Like think of it like a real roster, like a real locker room. Not everyone's going to get along, but we can work together. So, to the point, I hear you guys are taking questions for In The Trenches. I have a few and hope you take time to answer. Well, yes, absolutely we will. Question number 1. If either of you had come into the FPL with a fresh plate, so to speak, I like the pun, not slate, but plate, because, okay, so to speak, basically letting the past be the past, do you think you would have had a better or worse career thus far? If I'd started from scratch with a brand new character, I don't know what it would have done, because that would have had no history with Matt and I wouldn't have lost at WrestleMania. So there's that. Or at least the way I did. I still might have lost, but that happened. The match with Rab and I lost.
Right.
So like my history has cost me in this sense. It's not benefited me in any way.
I would say worse as well. Because, I mean, I'm getting the Canadian title because I had the Canadian title in another league, so I wanted to unify the title pretty much, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's a good question.
It's good. It's good, especially like the in-character aspect of it. I like, but yeah, it's. I think a worse career it might have been better because there's been stuff, but I wouldn't have lost the same things, so it might have been better in that sense with a fresh slate, not having that history impact where my matches were, because the match of the night was history, and we lost that tag match. But the ones where it's just I want to face someone. I won that, and then I won the follow from that. So I'm probably better looking at it objectively, but realistically, no, I don't. I truly don't think it would have actually changed much as far as my record. I'm still 5-3, so that's good. But question number 2: when are you guys going to actually allow others into the trenches to speak our minds to you? Well, first off, it doesn't work that way. It's not like we're not allowing people on. I mean, I guess, when people aren't on the show, it's not that kind of show. We kind of talked about that before. To speak your minds to you, I don't understand that entirely because we're kind of just covering and recapping stuff. It's not like, is this like a rant or a promo you want to cut? Because that's an interview show. Different idea. Definitely something that's like in the back pocket is an idea. So for that, when we figure that out, is the answer to that part, I guess. Personally, I'd love to hear other opinions than, well, so-and-so was got in the JRPL, so I'm going to go for them there. So he doesn't like that we're picking who we think is going to win based on history.
Right.
What's your opinion on that, BeerMe? Like, because I get what he's saying. He wants it to be
I get
completely fresh, and I understand.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I get where he's coming from. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, because some people did do that. Some people did come over with brand new characters. We have no Spring Tigress. We have no the Warden, but they're here. So like that is something there, and that's the same idea as basically. We did set it up wanting to continue because we like the story, we like the characters, and that's part of just how we operate. So to say that we shouldn't do that, well, I'm sorry, that's what we're doing. And that's part of why we're doing it. So to demand that change it's just not really going to happen. But I completely understand the aspect of not liking things where it affects things. Like your Canadian title shot is the obvious one. The whole thing behind that was really the fact that I made that one up. That isn't a JRPL thing that Bomber did. That's mine. So as far as you want to talk like proprietary, like not technology, but creatives, I made that. So free reign to do that with the one. We're not bringing over the JRPL world title. We're not bringing over the last Money in the Bank. We're not bringing over the tag titles or the Road Warrior or the Top Lock or the Ultraviolent. We are not doing that. Now, if the characters that had those, like JD, he could do the belt if he wanted with the Ultraviolent belt. He could actually have that and do a character thing with that. That's cool. But for us, the only one that we really had an idea was with the Canadian, because our title's the Canadian. It's kind of inherited from that as like the second tier belt. But also, I made that one up. So that's free reign to do our own creation with it. That's the word I was looking for. It's not because it's you, BeerMe. It would have been whoever it was. If it was Woody, if he was here, if it was me, if it was Vitamin, doesn't matter. That person would have been the person in that spot. So even if it wasn't Woody, we would figure something else out because Woody isn't here. But those are the holders of that belt. So just because it happened to be BeerMeJesus, who was world champion for a year, never lost it, unified basically in there, was superstar of the year multiple times, very decorated champion. We're not going to not mention that. And I think the main part of that is like when Christian Cage went to AEW, they didn't say, oh, it's this new guy, hope he's good. No, they told you about all his accolades. They mentioned it, and it helped you get the idea. So when we talk about how good these guys were back in the day, that's to get across how good they are, if they're that good. If we say, man, he was killing it, but he's not good anymore, that's also it. And, I mean, so far, yeah, Ash, he got the main event slot. Dropped the ball against Payne. Payne was on the way up and kept climbing. Not to say that guys can't come in out of nowhere. We've got Lexi Briggs. Yeah, Lexi Briggs coming in with earning a shot. That's Spring Tigress's new character, completely unrelated, is in line for the world title stairway, basically. Alexander McKennedy and Relintendo are the first champions. They're the mid-tier champions, the best we have right now until we get the world. That's the only one that'll be above that. They're there. They're new. They beat people who were in the positions, and they beat people who beat people. If I'm correct, Cam got the title shot because he beat Payne, and Payne was it would be a misnomer to everybody to just ignore the fact of what came before. That said, I keep saying that we're 8 shows in. What happened way back in the day isn't really come up anymore as far as for decisions. It might be who we pick in a match, like the Creatures, but the Creatures, for those who are paying attention, have continued to win here in the FPL. Right? Mm-hmm. Like they, not to rub that in the wound. Sorry, War Games, but that's it. So when you talk about like the decisions of booking, it's based on what's active, what's happening. The past 2 or 3 shows at most are what affects it and going forward. But as far as for us talking storyline, yeah, we're like commentators. We're basically commentators right now saying, "Oh my God, 3-time world champion is here." That's all that is. So I understand. Please understand. I understand that you don't like that we're talking about how cool those guys were before. If that's just in character, fair enough. But that's part of what it is. And yeah, did we kind of screw up maybe a little bit with BeerMe getting the shot? Maybe, because we hoped you'd win more into that point. But you had the belt, and it fit with the storyline, and it would have been cool with Cam because there was a little bit of history there in the FPL now. But also, if it was with Relintendo, who wants to beat the past, here comes the past. It's perfect. It was perfect storytelling, we thought. But CT freaking earned it. If you want to say we're basing it based on what happened before, he was on a slide. That's the running joke. He would not be in this spot that he earned outright. So, I'm getting defensive. Sorry, I feel like it's that. But it's absolutely not as on the nose as what that makes it out to be, but I get how it can be. The one caveat is, BeerMe's getting the shot. You're getting it. But as far as I'm concerned with that, sorry to hog the time on you here, BeerMe. As far as people getting a title shot, we do discuss and go back and forth about people getting a title shot. And yeah, was it unanimous? No, but it was a majority. So we went with the idea of this, with the cool idea with the double belts, the cool thing there. It's Razor as well. I get it. And we went that road with that title shot. And then we kind of realized, that shouldn't have been enough to do it. Crap. We almost did a contendership match. BeerMe versus CT. Winner faces Relintendo. We almost did that. But we looked at the schedule and went, that's not going to work. So we went with the 3-on-1. Sorry, the triple threat. Partly because Relintendo said in character, hey, let's do all 3. All right, that makes it easy. The champ wants it. We don't want to say no to the champ if we can help it. Sorry, McKennedy, I'm not facing you. I don't deserve that yet. But this works. This solves our problem. And did we agree on BeerMe to be the contender? Yeah. Here's the thing. If BeerMe loses, okay, fair enough. He was definitely worthy of being in that shot for whatever reason we believed in the moment we did it. But he didn't win it, and turns out you're right. He didn't deserve it. But I'll never say that you didn't deserve the shot, but you didn't capitalize on it, I guess is the way to put it. I've hogged all this, BeerMe. Right. You go ahead if you have anything to fill in on that.
No, I got nothing to add. You did a good job.
one last thing I'll mention is BeerMe himself has said, "Why am I getting the shot?" So there you go. Don't put it on him. But I'm still probably picking CT to win that. But I want Round 10 to win. Dude, I want you to win that so bad. Stuff the past and the present. Be the future. That's such a good idea. Oh, I love it. I want that so bad. So, yeah. Now, last question. If the two of you could go to any era of wrestling and face any superstar past or present, who would it be and why? Well, now he's asking about the past. I guess this is just like personally, like if I was a wrestler, what would I pick? Mid-90s Bret Hart. Easy. Who would you pick? Probably mid-90s Razor Ramon?
That would be pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like that. Yeah.
That's who it would be.
Or Walter now for a present. But
yeah, it'd probably be Bret. I could also say Vader is an absolute favorite.
ooh, yeah, he'd punch you right in your face.
He would. I read his book.
He would.
He would, and he wouldn't even apologize until later. But that's probably it though, Bret, because he's my favorite, and he can do storytelling in the ring, and he can do it with anybody and make you look better. I'm gonna get flack for this, but he's really kind of like Roman right now. Roman is the modern day Bret Hart, and people might think, no, it's Seth Rollins. No, Roman makes everybody look good with that storytelling, and you look better when you lose. That's my thought on that. But I would say that honestly, Roman right now is pretty good too, right? That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. Honestly, another one that I thought about might be Mr. Perfect.
Oh,
I don't know why, but he just popped in my head just because he was so good. And
he makes it look easy.
Yeah,
I think is part of that. And let's be fair. If you flipped it and it was on the women's side, Becky Lynch all day. Becky's awesome. Having a match with Becky would be crazy to have to do. I think.
Ooh, yeah.
Who would you pick from the women's side? Just for fairness here. Not Flair, I know. Or would it be Charlotte to win? So you could beat her.
There's
you'd
no
stiff
way
her, right? You'd sexy star her?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me think. Probably there's Sasha Banks or Asuka.
Oh, yeah, those are good. Asuka's a fun one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are good questions. And again, like I said, forgive me, Raw Nintendo, because it's character. I don't know, and if I got defensive, I do sincerely. This is me. I apologize because I don't mean to but it's character versus, and this isn't really character, so it's tricky to say. If this was in character, I'd be looking here saying we're not answering this and move on because I'm a heel. I would do whatever. So that's that. Those are my questions, Beer Meat, but you've got some as well, do you not?
Yeah, CT slid into my DMs and he gave me a few questions.
Okay.
He says, other than yourself, who has your favorite pick base in the FPL?
Oh, crap. This is horrible because you're gonna. It's been months, but I still forget who's who. I'll remember the picture, but not the person. Who has Will Ospreay? Because I think
that's Smooth Rock.
I think you're right. I think that one's one of my favorites because when we made that one, yeah, that's good. But I'm not gonna lie, Matt Zion, Adam Page with a beer,
Hangman
is one of our favorite. That's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah,
I love that one. I'm gonna cheat because I got the page right here. I'm gonna scroll a little bit. Hey, we got some. Yours is pretty good, dude. Yours is pretty good.
I do like Razor Ramon.
CJ Hawks is awesome with the glasses as well. I do like that one a lot.
Yeah. I like Sebastian Escobar since he's Santos Escobar. I mean,
yeah.
That's cool.
That's good. I think that's probably it. I mean, we not gonna lie, we try to make them all good, obviously, because we want everything to look good. Yeah, there's Matt. You know what? Broken Nerds.
Kennedy's James Storm.
Yep, that one's really good. Broken Nerds is really good too. And Modsip and Chappers with theirs, especially with Chappers with the boom. Yeah, it's kind of tricky, but honestly, just looking at these, CJ Hawk stands out just with the glasses, that pose. That's pretty good. And Nintendo even, the Kevin Owens who doesn't give a crap, is really good. So
Yeah.
I'm going with CJ Hawk. I'm looking at them. That one stands out. Now, that said, I know Payne's not on here in the list and whatnot. But I got to go with CJ Hawk. After looking at them, in my brain, without looking, it was the Will Ospreay one for Smooth Rock. But CJ Hawk. Hawk and Rock is where I'm going with it.
The Hawk and Rock connection.
Yeah, exactly. Who's your number one then?
All right.
Who's your absolute pick?
I'd probably pick Matt Zions.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty good. Yeah, or legit boss is Kano Mac.
Oh,
I don't know why, but that always sticks with me.
Because it's so weird.
It is.
Uh,
All right. His next question is, if you could have changed the result of one match so far, which would it be?
WrestleMania. I wouldn't have lost to Matt Zion picking randomly. Done. Though,
Yeah.
You know what? No, that still
Yeah.
works the story. I wouldn't have lost the date night match. That's the one that really gets
Ooh,
me.
yeah.
I presume he means of our own matches, to be fair. But that's the one. That's it.
Yeah.
I would have won the Rumble,
if
is
I
easy
had
to say, but yeah.
Right. If I would have picked one of my own matches, it would have been the War Games match. But if I had to pick another match, I would have had Sebastian Escobar win the Rumble so that he wouldn't have been number 2.
Yeah, that would have changed everything, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think your
But
idea about him winning the Chamber would have been great, because then you would have gotten the rematch.
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
That's the one, yeah.
I think that's the one. We
I
both
would
talked
change,
about that
yeah.
as being good. That might be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, it's my
Yeah,
it's my Mania match. Who am I kidding? I would not have lost to random pick Matt Zion. That's the
Right.
rough one. It would have been Rab before that, but now it's this one. God.
We know how this question's gonna work. He says, "How does it feel to lose at FPL WrestleMania?" I wouldn't know. Well, it sucks. How about that? There you go.
It hurts so bad because I put a lot of thought into it. Pick stuff, did this. Matt just went 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. To lose when you really didn't have the person try, it's rough.
Right.
It's real rough. It's like, that's like fart bucket rough back in the day. That's losing. You're trying to win and they don't even care.
Right.
Not that Matt doesn't care. He comes and helps out, but he just does the bare minimum. And he beat me with that. It sucks, CT, and you know it because you were on the call with me.
Oh man.
Any more?
Yeah. I got 2 more. He says, "What is the next goals for not just yourself, but your faction?"
Championships.
Well, I think we all want to. Yeah, that would definitely be championships. And they said, "Why are you in factions as 2 solid singles competitors?"
Well, the championship thing, I've had the goal. I wanted to win all the titles. I want to be the first to do that. I might not be the first to win the title, but I'll be the first to have all of them. I like that record.
Right.
And I know JD was on track for that. He was 1 shy back in the JRPL out of 5. Here we've got 4. And, tag titles are coming. But I want that. I do want that accolade. I want to have held every gold at least once. Because like I said, 5 days for Road Warrior, I still had it, which is more than others who didn't. Sorry, Beer, me not to rub it in. But that's right.
No.
Yeah. So I want that. That's personal goal. But beat everybody is it too. Like I literally am going to try to avenge my only losses that I haven't avenged with my match at Backlash. So there's that. But as far as for why am I in a faction, that's a holdover from when I went heel and ended up having everybody hate me. And I needed people I could side with, and I picked my greatest enemies. And they became my friends, because they were my friends before. So that's my faction. I honestly never wanted to be in a faction until the reason was there, and it was desperation, really. It was just like, there's no way the heel could do them. The face could have been the solo guy, like Broken Nerd is right now, just running roughshod, but I barely do tag matches as it is. I have one this weekend, but what about you? Why are you in a faction? Because you were in the Solution prior to that, and now you're in I almost said OBS, FBU. Why
Yeah.
are you in the factions?
I think just starting out. Well, one I formed with GMSG and Bastion. One, well, because GMSG, I just talk picks with him regardless all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why not be in a stable? And then Bastion, I mean, he was going to be in the solution back in the day until I had the bright idea of picking Tino because he had the money in the bank instead. So I kind of wanted to right or wrong, and plus he's really good. He's really good at picking. So I was like, screw it, I'll take two really good pickers, and we'll try to do our best as a group.
And it kind of was like you're the three singles guys that are still the standout characters to carry over from the AHMF, the Solution, and UVC. Here you are, right? Like that's it, because like the other characters haven't really come over at all. God, in any way have they? No, not really. So it's interesting to see. I mean, yeah, Green Machine's Kurt Cult. There's some that kind of carry over a bit, but it's you guys were the three mains to do that. And I mean, you have King of the Ring implications with the tie, the King of the Ring, and then you're the world champion. You guys are the three superstars of like the year last year. So that's a pretty big stable. But I guess to go back, why were you in the Solution? Just because you were starting out that way?
Yeah, how did I get in the Solution? Oh yeah, Woody just messaged me on Xbox one night and was like, hey, I'm so and so from the JRPL. So I was like, oh, cool, and I started messaging him, and then we just started talking picks, and then him and John were already a thing. So I was like, all right. I was like, hey, mind if I join? And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, well, let's get a fourth person, then we can win all the titles. And I was like, sounds like a good idea. So then we went through and we're like, oh, let's pick Warden. He seems pretty cool. And turns out he is really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's kind of how that started.
I like that. I know back in the day, like it was fun where Lee and I, because we got put together by Bomber and it worked out great. But I purposefully didn't want to be part of a faction because I like that lone wolf style, like the AJ Styles kind of thing, where it's like I'll fight everybody, even Cena kind of thing. Like I like that character, and no one else was doing it because everybody was in a faction. So I definitely do have the inkling of that again, but I think Red and I are at the hip at this point. If like we can't we can't turn on each other again, it would not be as good. Period. I mean, we try, but it's if I go face, she's coming with. I don't know about Lee though, so that's part of that. But being part of a faction, it's kind of like in the Horsemen, where you're not always just in tag matches or trios. You know that the three of you guys are often in singles matches, so I think there's a way to be in a faction but not dominate that style of match. So, but that's a good question. I never even really thought of that. That's really cool though. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Was that his last one, or was there any more in there?
Those are all the questions I got.
I like those. I like a lot of those. I like all those, except for freaking Warden at the start, non-question asking goof. Just getting a plug. Join the Dark Order, basically, right? So, well, speaking of this weekend in tag matches, which I have, we do have Backlash this weekend, WrestleMania Backlash at the FPL. It is Sunday night, 8 p.m. or 7 p.m., and the pre-show is at 6, so the deadline's at 5, and it's whatever the official stuff from WWE is, but picks page will go up Friday night after SmackDown, like midnight-ish, potentially. It might even be like into the morning of Saturday. But your deadline is basically Sunday afternoon. Please make sure you get them in there. And I say that, but everybody's really good to get their picks in, but we do have new people showing up kind of regularly. It's pretty great. It's pretty cool. A couple new ones here and there. So please get your picks in so you're good to go. We ran down the card last time, BeerMe, but we'll touch on the main event and a few other big ones here. Basically, it is Real Nintendo, BeerMeJesus, and Jonathan C.T. Martin for the FPL Canadian Championship, the first ever title defense, the first and only triple threat match, and it is Watson rules, which are the Canadian-style rules we mentioned last week. I want Real Nintendo to win, like I said. I want him to stuff the present, stuff the past, and be the future. I want that. You're picking yourself though, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other match is Josh Ionio facing the American champion Alexander McKennedy. If he wins, he gets a shot at the American title against McKennedy. I've said before, I kind of want JD to win that just because he's real good at that. But I want McKennedy to do the same thing and stuff it so that both champions have that strong showing on this night. I really want them to cement that. That is a cool thing to me. How about you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same deal?
I agree. Yeah.
The other main match here is the hardcore match, CJ Hawk versus Kier 1. Now, we've had Kier 1... Sorry, we've had Hawk, I believe, saying he does not want the hardcore match. Or am I getting that mixed up with Kier 1? It's in the character chat, where they don't want this match. They don't want hardcore. So it's like, that's interesting. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. And it's not directly related to the hardcore American stuff, but you have these matches, you're in line for it. That said, flat out, if you don't want to be in those matches, let us know on the creative side. We won't do it. we'll because we'd rather have people who want to be in that division, or the Canadian, or the tags and stuff like that. So that said, I love that aspect of it because it's always fun to see someone who is not normally part of that deal with that. It's really fun, I think. Lexi Briggs and Spinks versus the Simple Creatures, Broken Nerd and Rate Wrestle, Ash and Lucian Hollis, and the Outsiders versus Rab and Matt Zion. Lots of fun stuff on here. It's a good Backlash. I think it's going to have a lot of fallout, definitely. I mean, I know it's going to have fallout, but I'm looking forward to it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
We've got Luke Ray and Red, Escobar and Cross, RGX and Urban, plus OVS versus Death Money, Creatures versus Carlito and Wookie. There's a lot on here happening. And yes, we have over here Double or Nothing. That's the next one. It does say on here May 29th. It's actually May 30th, so we need to update that. The main thing with this one to keep in mind, we've learned something just the other day, or today I think it was. Dynamite that week is going to be on Friday. So the picks page won't go up Wednesday. Obviously, it'll be up after Friday. Same as SmackDown for that 30th. It is the 30th, right? Now I'm questioning it. But it is that. If it's a case of Friday to Saturday, yeah, we'll probably do it Thursday and have to run with whatever happens on Friday, just like WrestleMania with the SmackDown, because we want people to have at least 24 hours to put their picks in. So keep that in mind as we get towards the end of the month as well. And then, yes, we have TakeOver in Your House just announced. It is happening on June 13th. That's a Sunday. And the Slammiversary date was confirmed for July 17th, I think it was. That's also a Saturday. Yep. So we've got stuff coming up. And oh, look, the American title will be defended at In Your House. Look at that. McKennedy versus, who knows? Will it be JD? He's got to earn that. So there, he has a main event potentially in his future. Who do you think is going to do that? If JD wins, does he win the title match? What do you think?
I mean, he'd have momentum.
Uh-huh. But now it'd be a
scary thing.
But it'd be a hardcore match at that point, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I like it. I like to find out. We'll find out a lot coming up this weekend, obviously. We'll have a lot to cover next week on Trenches because we're going to know some fallout right quick after that episode, or that pay-per-view, rather. So I think we can leave it there, BeerMe. Anything else you want to say to the guys here today?
No, thank you for all of your questions. They were all really good.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, next week. Again, this is the Frontline Prediction League. It's Frontline League on Twitter. Follow and subscribe and all that stuff on this YouTube channel. And yeah, we'll definitely do this again because this was a lot of fun. Probably closer to SummerSlam, which is only about 2-3 months away. And yeah, if you guys have ideas for Double or Nothing, because that's the house show, a little more free form, or Slammiversary after that, let us know. We're building towards that. We've got ideas for the main shows up there, but we need to fill those gaps. So send us in your ideas or do stuff in character chat, especially after Backlash, which will probably happen the moment Backlash finishes and we put the write-up up. There'll be 8 promos and 4 character things getting matches going. So you'll take care of it. We know you guys will, but please make sure you do because we want to make this stuff that you want to have as well. So thanks again, everybody, for BeerMeJesus. I'll take it out here. Have a good night. We'll see you in the trenches.